Welcome to Kidmissing TV. I am your host, Angelina Wilson. First of all, this is medication. Finally got my medication, so I apologize for this look on my face. Today's case is going to be the story of your Miranda rights. We all know our Miranda rights, as they're called, but do we know where they came from? And since we do true crime around here, I thought I would talk about where the Miranda rights originated and who they were named for. They were named for a criminal, a bad dude, but they're very important. Ernesto Arturo Miranda. And his criminal case was set aside by the Supreme Court, the United States Supreme Court, in the landmark case Miranda versus Arizona, which ruled that criminal suspects must be informed of their right against self-incrimination and their right to consult with an attorney before being questioned by police. This warning is known as the Miranda warning. He had been convicted of kidnapping, intimate assault and armed robbery charges. After his conviction was invalidated, he was convicted without his confession and sentenced to 20 to 30 years in prison, but was paroled in 1972. And he made a living thereafter autographing Miranda cards that contained the text of the Miranda warning. He was stabbed to death in 1976 at a bar. The man who did it fled to Mexico. Miranda was born in Mesa, Arizona in 1941. He got in trouble from the time he was in grade school. So, on March 2nd, 1963, 18-year-old Patricia Weir was kidnapped after she got off a bus that she had taken home from work in Phoenix. A man she later described as the age of about 25, either Mexican or Italian, threatened her with a knife, tied her arms and legs with rope, drove her to an isolated area outside town where he intimately assaulted her before letting her free closer to town. She reported the incident to police and gave a detailed description, not only of the attacker, but the car he drove. Her brother, a few days later, saw a car with a man who looked like the man and looked like the car, and gave the license plate to police. The top of the paper when he wrote his confession said, with full knowledge of my legal rights. He did not know he could have an attorney and that he could stay quiet. He did not know those were his rights. His Fifth Amendment right, the right to self-incrimination, had been violated. And the Supreme Court said they would hear the case. And this is what the Supreme Court said in their decision. Quote, under the circumstances of this case, where a police investigation is no longer a general inquiry into an unsolved crime, but has begun to focus on a particular suspect in police custody who has been refused an opportunity to consult with his counsel and who has not been warned of his constitutional right to keep silent, the accused has been denied the assistance of counsel in violation of the 6th and 14th Amendments, and no statement extracted by the police during the interrogation may be used against him at trial. Crooker versus California. And Cecilia versus Legay. Oh, that was a decision under Escobedo versus Illinois. So they had already said that. Judge Marshall, Chief Justice Earl Warren wrote the opinion in Miranda versus Arizona. The decision was in favor of Miranda. The person in custody must, prior to interrogation, be clearly informed that he has the right to remain silent, and that anything he says will be used against him in court. He must be clearly informed that he has the right to consult with a lawyer and to have the lawyer with him during interrogation, and that, if he is indigent, a lawyer will be appointed to represent him. The Miranda warning isn't exactly the same from department to department, but it's basically the same. So the card looks like this. You have the right to remain silent. If you give up that right, anything you say can and will be used against you in a court of law. You have the right to an attorney and to have an attorney present during questioning. If you cannot afford an attorney, one will be provided to you. Yep, he sold Miranda warning cards for $1.50 a piece with his signature on them. And he was murdered in 1976. So that is the story of the Miranda warning. And the story for whom it was named. So, thank you so much for being here. God bless you. I'm sorry that this video is a day late. Anyway, I think that's it. I am going to my aunt's on Saturday, the Historical Society on Sunday. Our meeting is apparently on Tuesday, which I cannot do because I have an appointment. So, again, this is medication. I also have, excuse me, medication all over my face for the rosacea. So, thank you so much for joining me. God bless you. Have a wonderful rest of your day. And I will see you Friday. Well, that'll be tomorrow. Like I said, I'm a day late. I'm sorry. Bye, guys.